Hi, I'm Theo. In this video, I'm going to share with you every dimension and measurement of the nativity scene I made. I built this nativity out of XPS foam, but the sizes are applicable regardless of the materials you use. Let's get right into it. My nativity scene dimensions are based on the 5-inch scale collection of Fontanini figurines. It has two main parts, the stable on the left and the inn on the right. Let's start with the stable. The stable is 14¼ inches high. Just to be clear, I'm not including the base the nativity scene is mounted on. I'm giving the measurement of the XPS foam panel. And just so you know, here's an example of what a carved and painted foam panel looks like before being assembled. The stable is 16 inches wide. The stable is 7.5 inches deep. This side view shows that the depth is comprised of the 6.5-inch width of the side panel, plus the 1-inch depth of the front panel. Now let's talk about the arch. I used what's called a 3-centered elliptical arch. The space of the arch is 7.5 inches high. The stones along the top of the arch are about 3/4 of an inch high, so the total height of the arch to the top of the center keystone is 8¼ inches. I will point out that I added slabs to the bottom of the inside of the stable. These are 3/8 of an inch high, so that lowers the height of the arch somewhat. I mean, it raises the level of the floor, so the arch isn't as high. The width of the arch is 9¼ inches wide. Since the arch is centered in the front panel, that leaves about 3.4 inches of space to either side of the arch. From an architectural perspective, the front width of my stable is technically not wide enough, because there wouldn't be enough space for sliding barn doors to fully open. That's okay. I didn't want the stable to look too wide. Now let's talk about the size of the individual carved stones. Along the side corners and in the arch, the stones measure about 3/4 of an inch high, and between 7/8 to 1.25 inches wide. The stones along the rounded part of the arch need to be tapered, wider on the outer side and narrower on the inside. The space between the stones is really small, between 1/16 and 1/8 of an inch. The stones along the bottom foundation layer have a slightly higher height, about 7/8 of an inch high. I did this on purpose because I knew I was going to build up the area in front of the stable with a courtyard, which would cover some of the foundation stones. The courtyard is about 1/8 of an inch lower than the slabs on the bottom of the stable. Now let's talk about the windows. The lintels, which span the top, and the sills, which are at the bottom, are both 3.5 inches wide and 1/2 inch high. The window opening is 2.5 inches wide and 3¼ inches high. The wood frame around the windows, the sash, is a little less than 1/4 inch on each side, which leaves the actual window about 1.75 inches wide by 2.5 inches high. From the bottom of the panel to the bottom of the windowsill is 9¼ inches. From the top of the panel to the top of the lintel is 1 inch. Between the sides of the panel and the sides of the windows is 3 inches. Between the two windows is 4¾ inches. The lantern brackets are pieces of wood 3/8 inches thick. They're mounted 7¼ inches from the base of the panel and 2 inches in from the side. The height of the lanterns is about 1.5 inches, including the handle. The distance from the bottom of the lantern to the bottom of the panel is 5 inches. This aerial view with the figurines in place on a cardboard template shows that all the objects I intended to include within the stable would fit perfectly. From vision to reality. Now let's talk about the inn. The inn has the same height and depth as the stable, 14¼ inches high by 7.5 inches deep. But the width is narrower. It's 11.5 inches wide. The opening for the doorway is 3 5/8 inches wide and 5¾ inches high from the doorsill to the lintel. The wooden door frame is about 7/16 of an inch thick, which makes the actual doorway opening 2 3/4 inches wide and 5 3/8 inches high. From the base of the panel to the top of the doorsill is 1 3/8 inches, which is comprised of the 7/8 height of the bottom stone, plus the 1/2 inch thickness of the doorsill itself. This picture shows the assembled nativity scene with a door in place. The door is a tad smaller than the doorway dimensions, 5 3/8 by 2 3/4. In this picture, you can also see that I made a wide slab step for the front door. It's 5¼ inches wide, 2.5 inches deep, and 3/4 of an inch high. This size is big enough so that the base of the innkeeper and the dog's paws rest on the step without going off the edge. For the inn windows, I'll just provide a few key measurements. The top windows are 3¼ inches high and 2¼ inches wide, from the base of the panel to the bottom of the sill is 9¼ inches. The bottom window is slightly different. It's 3½ inches high by 2⅛ inches wide, and it's 3¼ inches from the bottom. The tower is 27 inches high from the base of the building to the peak of the tower roof. It's 4 inches square with side openings that are 3¼ inches high and 1½ inches wide. The chimney is 21 inches high. To the roof ridge line is 17 inches. The stable and the inn are joined together at a 135-degree angle. The roof is complicated and could be a whole video itself. I'll just show you here that I designed the roof to have a low Mediterranean-style pitch, with an overhang just a bit less than an inch on all sides. The miniature terracotta tiles are 9/16 of an inch, both length and width. The base is a 42 by 19-inch piece of half-inch plywood, edged with picture frame molding. The size of the base was dictated by the buffet table the Nativity is displayed on. The elevation of the base is built up by 3 inches with 3 additional layers of foam panel, each layer an inch high. Before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to a topic we covered at the beginning of the video, which is the width of the arch. As a reminder, my final arch was 9¼ inches wide and 7½ inches high. I spent a lot of time trying to determine the optimal size for the width of the arch. I made a lot of cardboard templates and agonized over which one would work best. My main concern was that I didn't want the arch opening to be too narrow. I wanted to see more of the ox and the donkey than just their heads. I do think I got the dimensions right, but I think it would be totally fine if you wanted to make a smaller arch. I think an 8-inch arch would work fine. It's a matter of your own preference and space limitations. Okay, I think that's about it. And if you're still with me at this point, I salute your perseverance. That was a lot of numbers. I hope you found this information useful. If so, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing or watching one of my other Nativity Scene tutorial videos. Anyway, thanks for watching and have fun with your own projects.